to 25 minutes, then Q&A.
Thank you so very much. Jai Hind, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Dr. Swami. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to be here. It's indeed an honor for me to be here and speaking to you on a topic which is very dear to, very important to the nation and to all people. The brief given to me is to give an overview of terrorism and counterterrorism as it pertains to Indian context. I have a PowerPoint presentation. Normally I never use it, but today I thought I will show some figures, data basically, to challenge certain common beliefs. It is not statistics I'm talking about, because statistics tell a lie, but figures do not tell a lie. So I would like to just see the figures to see where we are, what are we doing about it, and what do we have to do about it. So these three things are very important. Next slide, please. I'll have to create. When we just one, go back, please. Okay, we have spoken about New India. We have a New India which is a modern, prosperous, and a secure India, a responsible, risen, resurgent India, a global leader, a global player, and a 5 trillion economy is what we're talking about. Well-being of 1.3 billion people is our aim. But in that, security is an imperative for development. Without security, without peace, stability, there's no development. So that is where I think terrorism comes into being. Next, please. I'll skip the definition. My time is a little short. But I'll show you a 2019 Global Terrorism Index, which measures the impact of terrorism. India is placed at number 7. That means we are the 7th most targeted country for terrorism. Pakistan is number 5. Which is no honor to us in any case. China is 42, USA 22, UK 28. But please understand, these are parameters set by the Western world. I don't really, these are absolute terms. But if you take percentage terms, we would be much better off. But that does not mean we do not have a threat. We are still one of the most threatened countries by terrorism, both internal and external. Next, please. So what is the summary of the global terrorism of 2018? It is over the past decade, the terrorists have killed over 21,000 people worldwide each year. We are down to 3 figures. We are touching the 4th figure mark, but we are down from the 4th figure mark. So that's about 4% worldwide, which is bad. But then we also have to see that we've got 18% of the world's population. The global death from terrorism has been increasing day on day, and is the highest at 44,200 in 2014. In 2017, terrorism is 0.05% of the global deaths overall. Main thing is the media coverage of terrorism. That is very important, actually. And especially in India, the media, and I'm sure some of the media persons will be here. You can curse me for saying this, but we all know in 26/11 Mumbai, the terrorists and their handlers in Pakistan were aware of the exact realities in real time because the media was showing it. So media has to be responsible. Media is blown out of proportion, and that is exactly what the terrorism want. Terrorists want visibility, and the media gives them visibility. Next, please. As far as India is concerned, we said number 7. We have a ranking, and we are at about 7.568. Afghanistan, which is number 1, is about 9.5. So that is where we lie as of today. Next, please. I will not go over the terrorist organization. As per the Ministry of Home Affairs, there are 42 terrorist organizations in India. Some of them are dormant, some of them are active, and some of them are hyperactive. So I've put in the red is the hyperactive ones. These are the ones which are basically Pakistan-sponsored, Pakistan-trained, Pakistan-equipped, and Pakistan-controlled. And when I say Pakistan, I mean the Pakistani army included, ISI included. These are in red. And we all know about the Lashkar-e, Jaish, HUM. So this is Mr. or Shri Hafiz Sayyid and Masood Azhar and party. Next, please. We also have Northeast, we have 6 states which are affected by insurgencies. We have the PLA in Manipur, the UNLF out there. Next, please. Thank you. And we also have the Student Islamic Movement of India, the SIMI, which is known to most of us. Next, please. I'm running over it because, there are 42 of them. There's no point in going each one of them. But what is also important is the Indian Mujahideen. So I'm just covering some of it. And there are lesser known ones like the Garo National Liberation Army, which is a very small organization, and the Kamtipur Liberation Organization, which is there basically in Kuch Bihar area of North Bengal. North Bengal also has got an organization. Next, please. And then we have the ISI and the NSCN Khaflang group, which was active in North Nagaland, and the IM, which is active in Nagaland and Manipur. Next, please. But I would like to see this figure. Most of us talk about ISI has got great infiltration into India, but let's face facts. ISI does not have the infiltration in India what is required. These are the number of recruits. This is straight from the site which I have taken out. So if you see the very minuscule numbers are there from each state which have been recruited by the ISI. So we should not make a terrorist organization such a big hawa also, because that's what they're actually looking at. Because if you make them a big thing, that is what they want. And this is what ISI in India is all about. Let's also look at our strengths, not only our weaknesses. Next. Okay. Now, this is the map of India as far as terrorism is concerned. We have a total of 732 districts, and 170 districts are affected by terrorism in India. If you look at it, most of the states in some way or the other have a footprint of terrorism. So terrorism is pan-India. It is not only Kashmir. It is not only Northeast India. There is left-wing extremism also. There are 81 districts which are impacted by terrorism, which are 13 states, left-wing extremism, 69 districts in 6 northeastern states, 19 districts in Jammu and Kashmir, of course, 5 in Kashmir, which are the most impacted, which is given in red. So these 2 red blobs which you see are the most impacted ones, which is basically the 5 districts in Kashmir and the triangle between Chhattisgarh, Maharashtra, and Andhra Pradesh, Telangana. So that is where we are. Next, please. No, these are some of the high-profile terrorist attacks. Why I'm showing this is just a reminder. We know all of them. We had the worst attack was in 1993, March, Mumbai bombings. The maximum loss of life was there. I'm just talking of the high-profile attacks. And of course, then we had the parliament attack, which is an attack on India. It's not an attack on parliament, it's an attack on a national flag. So this is an attack on the parliament in December 2001, actually 23rd of December. And then we had an attack on the Kaluchak on the army bus carrying children. It is, they attacked the children who are going to the army school, their children, the army personnel out there. So that was one more attack in May 2002. Next, please. The Delhi Diwali bombings of 2005. Then we had, of course, the 26/11 Mumbai, and a very major attack. They attacked Mumbai. It was a planned attack, controlled fully by Pakistan. They came by a boat. That also means that we are not safe in the 7,516 kilometers of coastal areas. We are porous out there. Next, please. And of course, then we had Gurdaspur and we had Pathankot. Why I highlighted this is because these attacks have created a dilemma for us. Prime Minister Modi, on taking over as the Prime Minister, reached out to Pakistan, invited Nawaz Sharif for the swearing-in ceremony, and it was reciprocated. It was also Mr. Nawaz Sharif took the invitation, came here. The talk started between the political heads at the political level, and then UFA came into being in 2015, July, 15th of July 2015. Immediately after that, 25th of July, we had the Gurdaspur attack. I just want to draw a little bit of conclusion from there. Then on 25th of December 2015, Prime Minister Narendra Modi had a stopover at Lahore, unscheduled one, went and met Nawaz Sharif. And what did we get? We got Pathankot in return on 1st, 2nd January 2016. So what I'm trying to say is, every time there is a a political dialogue which is progressing for peace, there is a terrorist attack. Most of the terrorist attacks of Pakistan also proceeded wherever there is a move forward on the peace process or at the political diplomatic level, talks are there, you'll find this happening. So the dilemma for India is whether to talk or not to talk. If we do not talk, we are playing into the hands of the people who do not want us to talk. And if we talk, we cannot talk, because then terror will increase further. So that is a dilemma for us, which we need to address. And of course, then we had Uri, and then we had Pulwama. Why Uri and Pulwama? Because Uri was the game changer, and so was Pulwama the game changer. It was the first, Pakistan has been carrying out terror attacks on us all over India with impunity and in perpetuity, knowing well that we'll do nothing about it. Uri changed all that. We carried the surgical strikes 10 days after Uri attack. And similarly, after Pulwama, we carried out the airstrikes, precision strikes on Jabba Top, and I'll come back to that later. Next, please. Now, this is a very, very interesting figures. This is the terrorist fatalities in the last decade, since 2000 onwards. If you look at it, just look at it, where were we in 2000, 2001, 2, 3? Look at the figures there, and come to 2019 now. So if you look at 2019 figures, we are just about 915. And if you look at the overall figures we see how bad it can be. But that does not mean that we are not improving. We are improving. But we want a terror-free India, which is not likely to happen. But what we need to do is, we have to ensure that the violence levels are subcritical, and the terrorist organizations are more or less on the run, and they feel the heat. So this is some of the figures I would like you to see, which is very important. And look at the sacrifices of the security forces personnel. For every terrorist killed, 3 terrorists killed, we have 1 security force personnel who's laid down his life and made the supreme sacrifice. Next, please. These are total fatalities in Jammu and Kashmir. From a high of nearly 4,000, we have come down to 200. And 2019 has been an excellent year as far as the violence levels are concerned. I would put it again, we had some good years in 2012-13. I was the DGMO that time. And now we are again seeing reduction in the violence levels. And especially after the 5th of August, post 5th of August, when the Article 370 and 35A was, the provisions suspended, we find that the Valley especially has seen one of the most peaceful times in many, many years. So we have to give credit to that also. Next, please. I'm running it over because, it's just figures are important, that's why. If you look at the fatalities in Jammu and Kashmir in 1989, the proxy war by Pakistan started on 13 December 1989. Why I put that date out there is, if you recollect, on 7 December 1989, Dr. Rubia Sayyed was abducted by the terrorists, and on 13 December 1989, she was released in exchange for 5 terrorists. And it was 7:30 on 13 December, which is a very cold day in Srinagar, that 70,000 people came out on the streets of Srinagar celebrating the release and the victory of Pakistan, waving Pakistani flags. So Pakistan had been doing this. They had started the information war a little earlier. And we should also, let me be politically incorrect, but militarily correct. Mr. Mufti Mohammed Sayyid took over as the Home Minister of India on 2nd December 1989. So I think it's too much of a coincidence. 2nd December, 7th December, 5 days, and this is what it is. And since then, they thought that we are a weak India, and we have suffered the consequences. We have a total of 40,000 plus fatalities, including 14,000 civilians and 6,000 plus security force personnel. Next, please. If you look at Assam now, again, we had a high in 2001, 2002, 2003, and look where we are today in 2019, 3. This is better than any law and order problem in any district. So the terrorism per se has been controlled in Assam. And these are figures which are coming out. These figures have to be told to people so that people come and invest in these areas so that economic development does take place, especially in Kashmir, especially in Assam, Manipur, Nagaland, Arunachal. These are states which need, you got to go back and tell people, go work out there, get the economic development out there. The Economic Forum was to be held in J&K in October. It's still to be done. We need economic development out there. Next, please. Manipur again. We always say Manipur is violent, Manipur is violent. There are 38 insurgent groups of various types in the Imphal Valley alone, 38 of them. And we have a thing known as suspension of operations with most of the groups, and that is where we see now that the violence levels are again in single digits. And they were high. 2007, 8, 9, if you look at it, it was high. Next, please. Nagaland. We've had a peace process in Nagaland since 1997. It's been ceasefire out there, and this has actually, you find in 2007-8, the violence level has gone up, but this is basically for interfactional clashes between the IM and the K groups, between the two groups, and not because of anything else. And but again, we are at single figure in 2019. So 2019 has been a very good year. So was 2008, 18, and 17 also. Nagaland has been generally quiet. We've had the Naga Accord in 2015, which has come about, and which I think we should also understand. Of the many insurgencies, there are about 120 plus insurgencies in the world over. We are the only nation, the second nation actually, after the Malay insurgency was resolved with the British, we're the only nation to have resolved the Mizo insurgency. And thereafter the Punjab militancy. Punjab was not an insurgency, militancy, fueled by Pakistan again. So we have done that. We have a nation which is resilient, and we are people who are resilient, and we can do that. Next, please. Now, LWE. Now, LWE is a different game altogether. LWE, one thing about Northeast insurgencies, there's a common belief that the Chinese support the Northeast insurgencies, they provide weapons and all. I don't think so. I've had 4 tenures out there. I've not seen China do that. They may have sleeper cells, they may have linkages. Paresh Barua is definitely in Kuming, definitely I'm talking about. But that does not mean that they support it. There's no overt support. I don't think there's any covert support. Gone are those days when the China-bound gangs used to bring in weapons out there and things were there. It is not there anymore because it was there. We could not have controlled it because China, when they play smart, as was brought out earlier also. So we have to understand that China is not behind the insurgency and terrorism in the Northeast states. And on the left-wing extremism, I think this needs a little bit of a inward-looking things. We have to look at the development of the areas. We have to see the aspirations of people. We have to address the aspirations of people out there. Education has to come up, and if we look at that now again, we have had a very good way of looking at LWE. The CAP has done a great job out there, and again, LWE again, violence levels are coming down, and it is whatever violence is there is restricted to just about 18 odd districts. Out of the 130 odd districts to 81 districts, and now we've got about 18 districts only. Next, please. Okay, now coming to the main issue. We will have terrorism as long as Pakistan's proxy war is there. Pakistan's proxy war is aimed at bleeding India with 1,000 cuts, something which is known to all of us. Next, please. Look at Jammu and Kashmir. This is the map of Jammu and Kashmir as it is today. We have a line of control. It is 772.1.2 kilometers line of control. And then we have a 126 kilometer actual ground position line, which is the Siachen Glacier, which is around to the north, if you see. And then we have 5,180 square kilometers of Saksham Valley ceded by Pakistan to China in 1963. Onto the east, we have the Aksai area, 38,500 kilometers occupied by China. And then we have POK, which has been spoken about. And then at the southern end, at the southwestern end, we have about 198 kilometers of the international boundary between Chenab and Ravi, which Pakistan calls as the working boundary, does not recognize as international boundary. So this is what it is. Because line of control, as I think, is important. We've got to understand, because as the line of control is there, we'll continue to get the Atankwadis, which will be exported from Pakistan. Next, please. So what are the line of control dynamics? The ceasefire line of 1st of January 1949 became the line of control after the Shimla Agreement of July 1975, after the 1972, after the 1971 war, as part of Shimla Agreement. No, line of control is holders keepers. Why I'm saying that is because we have to understand, we have to hold each and every inch of the ground, because if I do not hold that ground, the sanctity of the line of control is exceedingly important, because if Pakistan comes and sits down out there, it becomes, the line of control changes and it is occupied by Pakistan, becomes Pakistan territory thereafter, or Pakistan occupied territory, I'm sorry. Pakistan occupied territory thereafter. So it is a holders keeper concept out there, it is also applicable to India. What are the roles and tasks of the armies out there? Both armies, the Pakistani army and the Indian army, got similar tasks. Out of the 3 are similar. 1, ensure sanctity of the LC, line of control. 2, ensure defense of the line of control. 3, moral ascendancy. It is very important, especially when you have active or semi-active line of control. And the 4th is where the change comes in, whereas the Indian army is in counter-infiltration grade out there. That means we stop infiltration. The Pakistani army is into an infiltration bid. It sends in infiltrators to our side of the line of control, especially in Jammu and Kashmir. So that is the 4 tasks. As far as manning is concerned, there's a myth that we are 4.5 lakh soldiers in Kashmir, and this is what we're doing out there. Please let me tell you that the line of control is manned on either side, the Pakistani army and Indian side, man to man, weapon to weapon. So whatever Pakistani army is manning out there, we manning equally, in equal proportions. To say that, they're all in Kashmir is incorrect totally. We have a counter-infiltration grid, which is the line of control, the 1st tier, the 2nd tier, and the 3rd tier. So they've got nothing to do with counter-terrorism in Kashmir. That is the counter-terrorism grid. So we have to understand that. It's not 4.5 lakh people in Kashmir. We also have to look after 1,545 kilometers of the line of actual control with China, which is again a disputed border. So when everyone tells you that 4.5 lakh troops are there in Kashmir, what is the army doing out there in such large sense? Please, it is not so. We have a mandate to ensure territorial integrity on 2 disputed borders, nearly 1,000 kilometers with Pakistan, another 1,545 kilometers with China. And that has to be held. That has to be deployed out there. So the security forces which are there in Kashmir proper are not as many. They are very little compared to the world figures. So that is something which I wanted to tell you out there. Ceasefire violations. We have a LC fence, a line of control fence out there, which is a very good fence. We all talk of, Israel's got high tech and they got a 7-tier fence. I'll take a little longer on this, please. It's important for us to understand what the army does out there and how we prevent infiltration. And I was posted there. I was hosting the chief of the Israeli defense staff. So when he came there, I told him, I said, sir, before I tell you what we do, let me hear what Israel does in counter-infiltration. So he told me everything high-tech and all, and how it comes to the center, and how it can be, remotely the weapon is fired, and including terrorists killed. And very nice, everything is very good out there. Because wherever goes, they say, you use technology. Technology, yes, we should explore technology, but man is a man is a man. And when we showed him, that we gave him a demonstration of our counter-infiltration grid, thereafter, he sat down in the vehicle, I was driving him, his wife was there with him, I was going to the helipad, we came in a helicopter. He says, darling, I need to replicate this in Israel. Okay, so this is the way, because we man each and everything, and the weather is bad out, it's not easy. Everyone asking, if you man it, if you have a fence, how does infiltrators come? You give me a fence, 35 seconds, I'll cross it. 35 seconds. So I got to man every yard of it. It comes at a great cost, but I need those 35 seconds. I need that 1 minute. That 1 minute is good enough for me. And that is how infiltration, which was the figures I showed you earlier, the fence came in 2003-4. From 4,000 today, we are down to 400. So that is what I'm talking about. Next, please. I'll go faster now. Look at Jammu and Kashmir. We have the proxy war. There are terror camps across. I'll come to that in a minute. We have socio-economic, religious, political dynamics out there. Kashmir has been used. I'm not sorry. No, Kashmir is the wrong word to me. Kashmiris have been used. Okay. Article 370 and 35A, fantastic. It's something which was long overdue as a soldier. And let me also tell you, the silent majority in Kashmir is for Article 370 and 35A. They are with in 370 and 35A. Violence levels have come down, it becomes a union territory. They start seeing the benefits of 7th Pay Commission. You know, Kashmir is a conflict region. The people are troubled out there. They cannot go against the terrorists. Kashmiris are multilingual. When I say multilingual, what do I mean by multilingual? When a Kashmiri speaks to me, a military man, he says, "Saab, watan ke liye jaan de dega. Kuch bhi karega watan ke liye." It's a fact. He means it. When he speaks to a terrorist, he tells him, "Ye fauj to bekar hai. Aap batao kya karna hai. Hum aapke liye kaam karega." When he speaks to his neighbor, he's speaking a different language. He cannot tell him that I don't believe in terrorism and ideology and religion. He cannot, because that neighbor, he doesn't trust his neighbor also. He's speaking a different language. And when he speaks within the family, he's speaking a different language of survival. To survive, a Kashmiri has to speak different languages. Please understand, in any conflict zone, he will be multilingual. So a team which goes from Delhi to Kashmir comes back and gives a fantastic feedback. Sir, it is not so. It is just not so. When the journalists go from here, internet journalists go, and they say, "I've spoken to Kashmiris out there." Please understand, he is trained now. He's, within him, he will tell you what you want to listen. So do not come into this propaganda of what the Kashmiris think, because what they think is one survival only. And I am with them. If I was in their place, I would be much worse. Can you go back a little, please? It doesn't matter. Forget it. Ek aur. Okay. Now, de-radicalization is a problem. We always talk about de-radicalization. My point is, de-radicalization is good to talk about, but let's stop radicalization first. And how do we stop radicalization? Give them education. They don't have education. The schools are closed. The first thing the terrorists do is close schools. If the schools are closed, what does the child do? He goes to a madrasa. He picks up stones to throw. He gets 500 rupees for that. So can we do that? Can we address education? So I propagate a 4E strategy for Kashmir. One is economic development. Absolutely imperative. Second is education. There are 46 Army Goodwill public schools. Each and every Kashmiri will come to you and tell you, "Saab, mere bacche ko aap admission dila dijiye, usse zindagi ban jayegi." Right? It doesn't happen. The 15,000 schools don't function out there. They just don't work. So if there's no education, where do the children go? Employment generation. There's no employment there. If the tourist doesn't come out there, how does it survive? Where does the shikara wala go? Where does the pony wala go? Where does everyone go out there? He has to, the hotel wala, the waiters who serve out there. So employment generation come in. And last of all, that is very important, empathy for the people. When I say empathy for the people, not only of people residing in Kashmir, empathy of Kashmiris all over India. Wherever they are, we should ensure that they feel as much a part of India as we want them to feel. Because if we don't treat them well, they go back and tell them, India to aise hi hai. We don't know the harm we do when we do that. And we talk about radicalization. Let me give you a small example. Everyone says, "No, Kashmir is radicalized, Wahhabis." Fine. We have in the Indian Army a fantastic regiment known as the Jammu and Kashmir Light Infantry, comprising totally of people from Kashmir. Totally. Okay. Unlike the Dogras, unlike the Jammu and Kashmir Rifles, which have Dogras and others, they are honestly only from Jammu and Kashmir. There is no radicalization out there. So if there is no radicalization out there, and they're recruited at 17, 18, they're as patriotic as we all are. But when the education is not there, the people will go into the madrasas, they'll get radicalized, and in the madrasas, the Maulvis are from Western India. They're not from Kashmir. Next, please. In the seminars and lecture, we call this a death session, so bear with me, please. This is the terrorist camps. These are all marked in red. So this is the terrorist camps. We have the location of terrorist camps. When Pakistan says, no, terrorists don't exist in Pakistan, they're telling a lie, as always. Next, please. And this is exactly where they are. Anyone wants it, he can take it on the internet. It is there. The slide is also there. Next, please. Okay. Surgical strikes, September 2016. Everyone knows about it. We did go in for the first time. It was the first time that the surgical strikes were conducted, and I, as the DGMO, can say so. And let no one else say anything else, because when people do talk that was done earlier, that was trans-LC operations. And out of the 5 which are quoted, I was directly involved in 4 of them. And the one which was not directly involved, I was indirectly involved because the troops who did it belonged to my regiment, and I was the colonel's regiment. So this is what it is. Next, please. We also had the Balakot strikes. I'm sure I will not go into details. The how of it is not important. The what of it is not important. What is important is the why of it and the impact of that. Next, please. So this is all done that way. This is a fantastic. This is a strike done by the Indian Air Force on Jabba Top. Unfortunately, the word Balakot came to being. And I'll take a few minutes on that later. Next, please. So what is the impact of surgical strikes? One, it demonstrated a politico-military will, which has not been happening earlier. For 3 decades, we suffered in perpetuity. And when the surgical strikes went in, we raised the cost for Pakistan. At the political level, strategic patience. Our strategic patience had run out, actually. So we told them. We showed strategic restraint in the targets we chose. We never did anything to Pakistan army, but we just targeted the terrorist camps out there, especially the launch pads and the terrorist strikes out there. And then we created a strategic dilemma in Pakistan. For the first time, the Prime Minister of Pakistan, Mr. Nawaz Sharif, after the surgical strikes, criticized the Chief of the Army Staff, General Rahil Sharif. Okay. For the first time, he said, you have isolated Pakistan in international law. It doesn't happen in Pakistan. You don't talk against the Pakistani army chief. And Rahil Sharif was supposed to become a field marshal. He was supposed to get extension, courtesy of the surgical strikes. He did not get an extension. He retired. This is September 28th. He retired on 29th of November. So that is what it was. Militarily, we hit them where it hurt. And most importantly, the paradigm shift. Our counter-terrorism strategy did not include preemptive and punitive operations earlier. But since Uri, we say that punitive operations and preemptive operations are part and parcel, integral to our counter-terrorism strategy. Next, please. Balakot. Now, Balakot, again, we demonstrated an unprecedented political military will. We used the Indian Air Force to not target Pakistan-occupied Kashmir, but proper Pakistan. Right? But having said that, we won the battle and lost the war. It's simply that we did the strikes right, but after that we lost the war. We lost the information war. Firstly, it is not Balakot. The centrality was Pulwama. The jus ad bellum was Pulwama. The justice to go in was Pulwama. Pulwama never came to being. They had learned the lessons from Uri, where they had lost everything, and we did not progress further. We should know our weaknesses. And we lost the information war. At 5:30 in the morning, the DG I-Spare tweeted Balakot. Now, when I saw that tweet, I was going to golf in the morning, and I saw that tweet. I said, this has gone mad, because Balakot, as I know it, is in Rajouri. And he's talking Air Force because Balakot is a border village in Rajouri, in Mendra sector of Rajouri. So I said, what is wrong with him? Because he used the word Balakot. It is not Balakot. It is Balakot, 20 kilometers Jabba Top. Jabba Top is the terrorist training camp. We should never let that shift to Balakot. Today, everyone calls it Balakot. Balakot is not our construct, it's Pakistani construct, please. It is Jabba Top, which is a known Jash terrorist training camp. And 20 kilometers, when we talk of sub-metric accuracy, and it's 20 kilometers away. So that's why I'm saying Balakot was wrong. And that is where we need to create information war structures in India, where the affected ministries come together and we have information campaign for Pakistan. It is very, very important. People also tell me, who would have known Jabba Top? If the world can know Dolam, and Dolam has become Doklam because of the media, because it is spelled D-O-K-L-A-M. It is Dolam, actually. And Dolam can become Doklam, and Doklam, now a blade of grass goes out there, as Bhutto would have said it. That became a landmark. Why couldn't Jabba Top become a landmark? So that is what I'm trying to say. Centrality was Pulwama, centrality was Jabba Top. Balakot was nowhere in being. When we talk to the world, talk to the international people in the discussion, the seminars, they said, why Balakot? Our just at Bellam was Pulwama and Jabba Top. Next, please. So the challenge, what is the challenge now? Challenge is changing Pakistan's behavior. That is the challenge. Data Pakistan is carrying out a proxy war by proxy or a war by proxies. What is the challenge? Pakistan is a low-cost, high-effect war. It doesn't cost anything for Pakistan to wage a proxy war in India. 10 people with paid 6,000, 10,000 rupees go into Mumbai and look at the havoc they cause, look at the loss they cause out there. It is the financial capital of the country. So what have they achieved? A high cost, a very high cost war, a high cost effect on us. What do we need to do? Raise the cost, high cost, reduce the effect, low cost. How do we do that? Is war an option? Sorry, I don't think war is an option. War is not an option. We've got to change Pakistan behavior. War may not change it. Who controls Pakistan? The Pakistani army. What happened after the airstrikes in Jabba Top? Who gained? General Bajwa, he gave himself 3-year extension. So quick, so nice. 3 years for security reasons. 3-year extension, aise de diya. And so who has gained actually? Is war an option? No, war is not an option. And that we saw after the airstrikes. When they had Operation Swift Retort, they made sure they didn't target anything in the Rajouri-Nowshera sector. And I've been the GOC there. Let me tell you, that is the most manned sector along the line of control. And even if you want to miss anything, you cannot miss it. So they also don't want a war. That thing that, nuclear war and all is broken. They cannot afford a war. They cannot afford any war with India because they always lose. But the relevance of the Pakistani army, as you're trying to bring it, is anti-India. Pakistani army controls that. And Pakistani is a smart army, let me tell you that. Let's not, say anything else. What does the Pakistani army do? They used to do a coup earlier. Now they stopped doing a coup. They plant a prime minister out there. So he has the accountability, and the Pakistan army has the authority. So they're going to no coups in Pakistan anymore. The Pakistan army has got the full control of Pakistan without being in the forefront. So that is what Pakistani army is doing, and Pakistani army controls the India policy. Pakistani army controls the strategic policy of US, Russia, you name it, UK, because anyone who goes to Pakistan goes to Islamabad, but also goes to Rawalpindi. Rawalpindi is the headquarters to meet the chief. Next, please. So what are the options of Pakistan? I'll not go over it. I'll just leave it to you. Pakistan can do a lot of things, but terrorism remains the key option for Pakistan. And how he's going to carry the terrorism is all given out here. But again, I'm running out of time. War is not an option. Let me say that again. War is not an option for Pakistan. But the threat of war should be an option for us, and that capability should be there. He should know that we have the capability to recapture POK or to capture POK. But that's the Parliament resolution of 22nd of February 1994. Next, please. How do you change Pakistan's behavior? I'll just take a few bullets in this. Diplomatic isolation of Pakistan. Project Pakistan's epicenter of terror, which it is. 80% of the terrorist attack anywhere in the world have a direct or indirect connect with Pakistan, including the recent one which happened on the London Bridge. So there has to be something out there. Target Pakistan economic interests. That is very important. The economic interests I would target. And invest in the people, projects and security for Afghanistan. I repeat that, invest in the people of Afghanistan. I will not go with the US when they want our boots to be there. Let's invest in the people of Afghanistan. When the army goes there, when the security forces go there, we actually, whatever we may do, we are not friendly to we would like to be friendly to the people, but the people never treat us as friends. They'll treat us as enemies. But we have to invest in the people of Afghanistan. That is a long-term thing. Next, please. Militarily hit Pakistan where it hurts, hit the Pakistani army. If you can bring the Pakistani army down, Pakistan army's relevance, domestic relevance, the political relevance, the economic relevance is all because of an anti-India stance. And let me also tell you, not very long ago, the Fauji Foundation, which controls a lot of economy, they make Fauji cement. And India was importing that cement. We stopped after the strikes in Jabba Top. We are importing cement produced by the Pakistani army. So that is what we are doing. We have to make sure that we have a synergized effort to changing Pakistan.
Our favored nation
Most favored nation status. Absolutely right, sir. Most favored nation status. But why do we do that? We don't have to do that. There are a lot of things which need to be done. But most important, what hurts them most, Kashmir is not the cause. Kashmir is a manifestation. Kashmir is not the cause. And they have used the Kashmiri people, and the Kashmiri people understand that they've been used by Pakistan. 3 decades they've suffered. What is the cause? Pakistani army's relevance and water. The water goes, 95% of Pakistan water flows from India. We have a IWT. We are a responsible power. We abide by the IWT, Indus Water Treaty. But is there a case to threaten them with water? They are short of water. Water stress is going to be everywhere, and water stress is going to be more and more and more. So that is where I think we have to, in the military language, put the screws on Pakistan. We have to threaten them with a review of certain, I'm not saying review the complete policy, but certain provisions of Indus Water Treaty. That is very important. If you can do that, you will find Pakistan changing its behavior towards you. But for that, we need to create capabilities. We cannot just stop water. Next, please. And this is the last one. Or this. So, as counterterrorism, I'll just take 2 minutes on that. Our operation is always people-centric. If people are the center of gravity, we have to be people-friendly. We have to do everything for the people. They are the most sensitive and challenging tasks. Whatever you may do, things will not work out at times. Whatever you may do, if you neutralize a terrorist, he has a brother, he has a friend, he has a wife, his wife has got a brother, there's a family. They're not going to like it. Minimum force. We do fight at the minimum force, and that is why that combat ratio I spoke about, for every 3 terrorists killed, we lose a soldier, we lose a Jawan. That is a cost we have to pay. The Americans don't do that. The Americans studying Nebraska, you said it. They go, they strike. They actually don't bother whether goats are killed or men are killed or anyone is killed. They don't do it, and they don't fight in their own country. These are countrymen, so we have to be that way. We have to exploit technologies, but technologies are not alternates for manpower. Intelligence, it's very important. Action on time. Where does it come from? It comes from the people. We had Operation All Out going on in 2018. The maximum precision operations are carried out. Terrorists were taken out. Where the intelligence came from? They came from the people. So people are with the nation. People are with the security forces. People know where their interests lie. Zero tolerance to a human rights violation. Absolutely zero tolerance. Let me assure you that there is no question of anyone tolerating any human rights violation. And a lot of people say that, army does that, army does that. No way, sir. It will not, no way, man. Please understand that. It will not happen. We're also looking at agitational terrorism. Terrorists always come in new ways. Stone pelters have come in. Now the financial action task is there. So things are going. And exploiting the judicial system. What do? We come under the NHRC. He goes to the police station, lodges an FIR. Nothing happens. I retire. The moment I retire, I'm studying in Trivandrum, in Orissa, in Northeast. So I'm called in by the police, I'm put behind bars, and a case starts out there. I've retired 7-10 years ago. I don't have the organized support which I had in service. So that is what they're doing. So that is something we need to be aware of. And I think I'll finish out here. Thank you very much for your patience listening. Jai Hind.
Q&A. Would you like to take
I'm okay. Time is yours.
Okay.
4 questions.
Yeah. Thank you, General. We will now open up the forum for just 4 questions. Anybody would like to ask General any clarification or anything? Yeah. Advocate Dilip.
सर, अभी मैंने 2 लोगों से सुना, एक आपकी पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू सुना, एक नंबर की सुना। क्या ऐसी पोजीशन आ गई है कि मैं पाक ऑक्युपाइड कश्मीर को ऑक्युपाइड कर लूं?
मैं एक सोल्जर हूँ, सीधा जवाब दूंगा मैं आपको। हमारे पार्लियामेंट की रेजोल्यूशन है 22 फरवरी 1994 में, रेफर भी किया उसको, जो कहती है कि हमें जितनी भी टेरिटरीज हमारी लेनी पड़ेगी। दैट्स रेजोल्यूशन पार्लियामेंट। आई कैन नॉट गो अगेंस्ट इट, यू कैन नॉट गो अगेंस्ट इट। इफ यू आस्क एन इंडिविजुअल कि मुझे पाकिस्तान और कश्मीर लेना चाहिए, वही तो मैं बता रहा हूँ आपको, लेना चाहिए। लेकिन वहाँ पर 40 लाख लोग हैं, मैं उनका क्या करूँगा? आजकल इंटरनेशनल फोरम में मैं क्या करूँगा? अगर मुझे 5 ट्रिलियन इकॉनमी बनना है, कैन आई गो टू वॉर? आस्क अ वेरी सिंपल क्वेश्चन। 63% of my equipment is ex-imports. Will the US supply me? No. I don't trust the US to supply me. Sorry. They have not done it earlier. भूलो मत कि यूएस ने पाकिस्तान को आर्म किया था 1963-64 आफ्टर 62 वॉर. आई एम थैंकफुल फॉर द चाइनीज टू हैव अटैक्ड इंडिया 1962. नहीं तो 65 में पाकिस्तान हमको ले लेता. $3.2 बिलियन का इक्विपमेंट दिया यूएसए ने पाकिस्तान को. उसमें से हमने 65 में लड़ाई लड़ी. F-86 एयरक्राफ्ट, F-1054 एयरक्राफ्ट, पैटर्न टैंक, सबने सुना हुआ है ये. आज हम भूल जाते हैं इसको. मेन इक्विपमेंट पाकिस्तान का अभी भी चाइनीज नहीं है. मेन इक्विपमेंट उनका अभी भी अमेरिकन ही है. तो क्या मैं लेना चाहूंगा उसको? दैट्स अ पॉलिटिकल डिसीजन. बट क्या मैं ले सकता हूं अकेले? आई हैव टू बिल्ड कैपेबिलिटी. मुझे टाइम चाहिए.
ओके, रमेश सेतुरामन. नो, वन क्वेश्चन प्लीज.
Very simple. So there are social media which is being used by many of the Pakistani different forces, whatever it is, targeting specific jawans or or key persons per se to manipulate to their agenda. So how do you think the same should be countered? That is good. Extended to that, there are also media persons who are playing in the hands of the thing by, for example, a classic example is the 26 women and also the Balakot. Right? So, what is your view on it? So, how these should also be?
Absolutely, I think that is the question. New age warfare will not be in single dimension; it's multi-dimensional, and social media, new age technologies, information war will come into play in a big way. How to do it is we go to our structures. We have to IW information war structures. We do not have the structures right now. I'm not criticizing Doordarshan. They have the largest reach, but are they focusing on information war? They're not focusing on information war. अगर मैं पाकिस्तान बॉर्डर पे जाता हूँ, मुझे पाकिस्तान रेडियो स्टेशन मिलता है, मुझे पाकिस्तान टीवी मिलता है. मैं चाइना बॉर्डर पे जाता हूँ, मैं जीपीएस जो है वो चाइना का मिलता है मुझे. इट से वेलकम टू चाइना. हमने क्या किया वहां पर? जहां दिल्ली में बैठ के हम ठीक हैं.
अरुणाचल प्रदेश
आप चाहिए वो आपको चाइना का वेदर देता है, आपको वो चाइनीज का आपको लोकेशन देता है मेरे एरिया में. You get my point? But you're right, social media, we have to sensitize our people. We have to understand the power of social media today. I cannot be, looking at only कि मार दूंगा, काट दूंगा, तोड़ दूंगा. नहीं हो सकता है. We have to live in a world which is interconnected, which is networked. Everyone's carrying a smartphone. He gets information. Everyone on Twitter. India has got 500 million internet users. हम क्या कर रहे हैं उसके लिए? I have to create structures for that. I have to create systems for that. And we, honestly, we are slow. We are a democracy. We are slow. We have to be slow. I respect that. But हम बोलना शुरू करेंगे, आप लोग बोलना शुरू करेंगे तो होगा ना? कैसे नहीं होगा ये बताइए? होगा. और पाकिस्तान जो मर्जी कर ले, हमको पता पाकिस्तान क्या करता है. लेकिन उसने देखो बालाकोट में क्या कर दिया. बालाकोट बना दिया. मैं भी बालाकोट कहता हूँ अभी, क्योंकि मैं बालाकोट नहीं बोला, आपने समझेंगे नहीं. क्या किया उसने? बालाकोट इज अ पाकिस्तानी कंस्ट्रक्ट. तभी मैंने बोला, डॉक्टर सुमन आस्क्ड मी आल्सो, आई एम श्योर यू डिडंट लाइक इट, दैट वी वन द बैटल, लॉस्ट द वॉर. वी लॉस्ट द वॉर. आस्क द वर्ल्ड. आस्क द वर्ल्ड ओवर. दे सेड नो, यू लॉस्ट इट. यू लॉस्ट द प्लॉट. आपने कहा कुछ नहीं किया वहां पर. अरे मैंने कुछ नहीं किया. मैंने एक आदमी नहीं मारा, चलो कोई बात नहीं, बट आई हैव डेमोन्स्ट्रेटेड अ will to go and hit at Pakistan. It is not the question of कि मैंने 1 मारे, 10 मारे, या 350 मारे, या 400 मारे. उससे मुझे फर्क नहीं पड़ता है. मैंने पाकिस्तान में बता दिया, मैं आके तुम्हें अंदर आके मारूंगा मैं तुम्हें. That is what matters.
This side, yeah, the last one. No, उनके पीछे. Yeah, Gaurav.
Sir, you said that war is not an option for us. So my question is that are we having any strategy?
जवान के साथ खड़े ना उनको ने लास्ट में खड़े हैं ना, येलो शर्ट.
So like because they are because they are in the past. And we can't engage in
जो
any
भी
kind of
वो देख रहा है.
disadventure with India. So can we risk that? I mean, any kind of disadventure from Pakistan now?
You see, let's take, हम बड़े आसानी से बोलते हैं Pakistan is a rogue nation. Sorry, it's not a rogue nation. Pakistan is a rogue army. It's not a rogue army. It's a professional army. Why should he start a nuclear war with you when we have a nuclear doctrine which says massive retaliation? In case he starts it, he will cease to exist. There will be no Pakistan left. He has to understand that. Pakistan seeks parity with us in every way. हम उसको willingly parity दे देते हैं. मैं भी दे रहा हूं यहां खड़ा होकर बात करके. Why should we go parity to Pakistan? Pakistan है क्या? बताइए आप मुझे. Why Pakistan? I should be looking at a UN seat in the Security Council. I'm a world power, I'm a global power, India is a global power. Why should I look at parity with Pakistan? और पाकिस्तान पैरिटी मांगता है, हम उसको आराम से पैरिटी देते हैं, विलिंगली देते हैं, कंफर्ट जोन है हमारा. डोंट वरी, पाकिस्तान के न्यूक्लियर वेपन्स हैं, उनके पास रहेंगे. आवर न्यूक्लियर डॉक्ट्रिन इज वेरी कैटेगोरिकल, मैसिव रिटेलिएशन, और ये पाकिस्तान समझ आती है बात ये. सो आई थिंक लेट्स नॉट प्ले पाकिस्तान. पाकिस्तान न्यूक्लियर रिटोरिक कर करके उन्होंने हमारे 40,000 आदमी मार दिए कि अगर आप कुछ बोलोगे मैं न्यूक्लियर पावर हूं. अरे न्यूक्लियर पावर है तो हम में तो न्यूक्लियर पावर है. आवर फर्स्ट PNE वाज 1974.
Okay. And Mr. Vivek Varnekar from Goa.
Has the developments of technology played any role in surgical strikes?
Definitely. Definitely. Technology was optimized, utilized, exploited. We have the technical know-how. We have the best technological people out there. हमें जो चाहिए हम मिल जाएगा.
I would say satellite technology.
Yes, we have. Our ISRO is one of the best.
Yes.
We did not have dedicated satellites till recently, but we launched the first satellite. There is the INSAT-7C, which is the Air Force, carrying the Air Force component. The Army, Navy is also in that. So we have our satellite. We are progressing now. And but then today you can, if you have the leverages over nations, the I4 part of it will be given to you by anyone. Israel दे देगा, USA दे देगा, Russia दे देगा, कोई problem नहीं है. Even China will give it to you if you have the leverages. You create leverages, you create linkages.
The last question is from Dr. Swami.
That will be a tricky one.
Well, we have two options to consider. One is what you say is the parliamentary compulsion that we must restore, recover all our lost territories. The second is based on the refugees here from Balochistan and Pakhtunistan and Sindh. They are very confident that if we recognize them, they will be able to separate from Pakistan and leave just the West Bank. Do you think there is some substance in that claim of these people?
Yes, I totally am with them. We are a nation, which is a big nation. We have to play our role in the global world order. If there are people as a community who are suffering, we have to support them. So we should support them. We should encourage them covertly. There are Baluchis, there are Sinds, there are Pashtuns. So there is a large section in Pakistan which is not very happy with the Punjabi domination of Pakistan and the Punjabi army domination of the Pakistani army also. So I think that is there. But one caution I will give. We talk very openly. We should support. We should also carry out terror attacks in Pakistan. We should do Balochistan. We should pay them in the same coin. Sorry, we are a responsible nation. We cannot condone what we condemn. If we go to the world saying terrorism is bad, we cannot say terrorism again. वो good terrorist, bad terrorist. हमारे पास जो आ रहा है वो bad terrorist है, जो हम भेज रहे हैं good terrorist. Then what is the difference in Pakistan and us? We cannot do that. You want to do it? I'm not too sure whether you want to do it or not. But please don't do it openly. That's what I'm trying to say.
But we can have human rights centers here.
Yes, definitely.
Which is, they have it in New York, but we don't have it here.
Again comes back to the perception management. We should have human rights center. We should have, we should learn from Pakistan a few things. China also, China big way. We have to we got to invest in Western think tanks. They shape the opinion out there. We have to have opinion makers. We have to have influencers. And we have to tell them what is the end state we want. So that is something very important. That's something you can, knowing you and your contributions, salute you for that. That is something which you could do. Have an influencers group, have a decision opinion makers group, So let's make opinion world over, not only in India. India is not, I don't have to tell our people out here कि हमको ये करना चाहिए. But the world has to know, if you want to isolate Pakistan, the world has to know that Pakistan is unsafe, Pakistan is the epicenter of terror, and Pakistan is human rights in Balochistan, human rights here. So we have to do that. And for that we need influencers and we need opinion makers.
Balakot is specializing in that.
He is.
Balakot is specializing in interacting with US think tanks.
So, Lt Bhatia's view is based on the experience of the last 40, 50 years. My own view is today is a bit of a different world. In those 40, 50 years, the Soviet Union or Russia was anti-Pakistan, anti-China. In 72, when the 71 agreement was signed. Today, China and the Russian Federation are the closest of defense allies. I think some of the parts of S-400 come from China. And I'm not entirely certain that Russians will not be sharing information about the S-400 to China. I'm not certain that China will not hand it over to Pakistan. So the difference is, the general is, of course, as I said, based on the last 40 years. I am going into a situation where I believe everything is now totally different. The world we're looking at is totally different. And secondly, a power is respected when it is in a position to, in a sense, when it shows and demonstrates its power. I don't think the United States has any country that demonstrates its power. And I think so far as POK is concerned, I agree with the general, we cannot do it alone. I fully agree with you. We cannot do it alone. The Americans also know they cannot have their geopolitical way, in the Indo-Pacific alone. They need India. We need them. The question is, what is the trade? And I'm talking about doing the trade. Second point is, I'm a little worried whenever you have openly people saying war is not an option, because that only incentivizes behavior on their part. I do believe, frankly, war is an option, and I do believe that a situation will come in which we do have to go to war to take over POK.
We have to have another session.
Can I have 30 seconds?
Yeah, yes.
I do agree with you, but let me also say that whether Russia, China, US, anyone, my interests come first and foremost. If today Russia's interests are being served by supplying, exporting weapons to Pakistan, he will do it. If today I want something from US will come running and do it. You're right, absolutely out there. But whose interests are being served? I have to ensure my interests are served first. I'm not bothered if someone else's interests are being served or not. My interests are prime, and I should create capabilities. I should have the power to project and protect my national interests. That is the underlying thing. If I have to go to war for that, I'll do that. But my projection and protection of my safeguarding my national interests, that is the key issue. If I can do that, it doesn't matter. The means don't matter. The end matters. I can go alive with the US, I can go alive with Russia. If I want S-400 in Russia, I told the Americans, you want to go,
There's one interruption I'll do.
Yes, sir.
It's possible that if you are wanting to go to Russia for anything specific, you might lose the Americans altogether.
I don't know, because when Americans...
That's the impression I have.
Sir, Americans want to sell you under all costs. S-400, CATSA. If CATSA comes into being, they can't give us anything. But can the US military industry, can they afford it? I don't know. Honestly, I don't think so. They will twist the tail of Mr. Trump and tell him, look, you are a man who put out there to business. We want to do business with India because India is going to import $20 billion worth of military equipment in the near future. So we have the power. We will leverage our power of importing this.
All open questions for the future.
Right. Thank you much. And
Thank you,
so much.
General. Thank you. We had